Yo, Hustle Daily, what's going on, Hustle Nation? Welcome back to another video. Got another one for y'all. My worst second date experience. So it's just her worst second date experience. So she done went out on a date with him. Here we go for the second time. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. Make sure y'all like the video, comment, subscribe. I appreciate y'all, man. Hopefully everybody had been a blessed day. I'm talking really fast because I be liking to talk fast because y'all gonna skip. You feel me? So I'll be trying to talk fast. Let's get right into it. I should have started this whole video over, but fuck it.
A few months ago, I went on a second date with a guy who was a few years older than me. He was like 29. And we had gone on our first date to like a brewery. We just grabbed drinks. It was like mellow. We just got to know each other. Typical first date. Second date, he was like, oh, I want to take you somewhere nice. Like, I'm going to get us reservations for this restaurant in town. Have you ever been there? I hadn't. So he was like, okay, yeah, like, I think you should try this restaurant with me. Makes the reservation. Reservation is at like 7:30. So we go and meet up at a bar across the street at like, we were supposed to meet up at 6:45. I was running a little bit late, but had kind of told him like I'm having a chaotic day. Like I will try to be there by 7. And so meet up at 7 across the street, grab a drink, go across the street to the restaurant for our reservation. We sit down, order drinks there. And then, we're chatting, we talk about the menu, he tells me what he recommends off the menu, and then our waitress comes and she's like, hey, are you guys ready to order? Like, do you know what you want? And he was like, no, I think we need like 5 more minutes. And so she walks away. I was like, okay, maybe I didn't make it like clear, like, oh, I think I'm going to get this. So I said it like, oh yeah, like the thing you recommended sounds good, like I think I'm going to do that. We're sitting there, we're chatting, waitress comes by again. Hey, do you guys know what you want? He says, no, I think we need like 5 more minutes. I was like, well, maybe he just doesn't want to interrupt, like, our conversation. We're having, like, a good conversation, so maybe he just wants to, like, continue the momentum of the conversation. She comes back again. He proceeds to tell her we need 5 more minutes for 2 hours. 2 hours! We're sitting there having a conversation, and I'm a great conversationalist, so, like, we just keep it going. It doesn't get, like, awkward. The conversation doesn't slow down, but at some point, I'm like, when are we gonna, like, order, So he goes to the bathroom. The waitress comes to me. I'm sure I've been, like, blinking in Morse code, help me. I'm starving to death. Because when we were at the first bar, before we went across the street, he asked me if I was hungry. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like, I had such a chaotic day. I'm so excited to just, like, chill out and eat. So he knew I was hungry. The waitress comes by while he's in the restroom, and she's like, do you know what you want? I was like, yeah, I think when he gets back from the bathroom, we'll be ready to eat, like ready to order. Because I didn't want to order, if he was going to pay, I didn't want to order while he was in the bathroom. I thought that would be rude. So he comes back, we're chatting, the waitress comes back and she asks if we're ready to order, and he says we need 5 more minutes. Finally, the waitress comes back and she's like, we are closing the kitchen. Did you guys want to order some food? He turns to me and he's like, are you even, like, hungry? I was like, yeah, I'm pretty hungry. Like, I'm sitting here in my brain like, what the fuck are you talking about? Am I hungry? Like, I told you 3 hours ago I was hungry. So we order an entree to share. And it was really good. The food was great. It comes out. He goes and takes a bite and immediately burns the roof of his mouth on the food. So he's sitting there pouting while I'm kind of like still picking at the food, like blowing on it to cool it down because I'm starving. And he goes, oh, like I can't even taste anything because I burned my mouth. You can eat the whole thing if you want. Like I don't care if you eat the whole thing. So I did. I ate the whole thing because I was like, you kept me waiting here. It's now been 2.5 hours since our reservation. It's 10 p.m. They are closing the kitchen. By the end of the date, the tone was just kind of nasty because, we had started talking about tattoos. I have tattoos on my arms, and he had tattoos on like his chest, arms, like legs, all of it. And he was asking me, because I had a tattoo appointment coming up, he was like, how much do you spend on your tattoos? And I was like, I typically don't really discuss that kind of thing with people because I feel like tattoo pricing ranges so much depending on style and your artist and where it's placed on the body. But I told him, I was like, like typically it's in this like ballpark range because I have like bigger pieces. And he started scoffing at me. Like, I've never spent that much on a tattoo before. I've never spent over $200 on a tattoo. And I was like, well, my artist has 2 kids, and I feel like I'm supporting her family by continuing to go to her and provide her my business. And he was just like talking down at me basically for how much I've spent on my tattoos and insinuating that I'm getting scammed by my artist who I have a great relationship with. So I also felt like the fact that he was being weird about ordering food for both of us, I almost want to say it was like a money thing where it was like he couldn't afford the restaurant that he picked to take me to and was hoping that we would just get drinks and leave.
That's what I was thinking.
But it's like I never asked him to take me to like this nice restaurant. This was something he said he wanted to do. And so to be upset with me that I do spend money on myself and my appearance and things that make me happy, because you're upset that you're the one paying for a nice dinner you asked to take me to, I was just confused. And then usually when I'm on like a first, second, or even like sometimes a third date, I will plan something for after the date so that I have an excuse to leave if I feel like things aren't going well. So I was like, oh yeah, I did tell my friend I was gonna go help her like put together her bed frame tonight. And you know, it's getting late. It was like 10:30 at this point. I was like, I really need to like go help her out because otherwise she doesn't have a bed frame put together to sleep on tonight. And I was offering to like stay with him and wait for the check and like hang out. And he was like, no, you can go. Just go. I was like, okay, well, have a good night. Like, I was just so confused. I was like, I don't know what I did to warrant being spoken to this way. I thought the date was going pretty well until the tattoo conversation came up. So the fact that it spiraled out of control from there was just very confusing to me. I just wanted to use this comment as an opportunity to thank the people who are being kind and compassionate towards me in the comment section of that video. I think that a lot of people are making assumptions that they would know what to do in that situation based on having all the information from like a third-party perspective. It's very easy to say, oh, well, here's what I would have done. It's a very different thing to find yourself in this type of situation, which again is a very unique situation. And I think being a woman on a date with a man you don't know very well, there's this factor of like, I don't know how he's going to react if he feels I disrespect him. There's like a safety element to this that I think a lot of people are overlooking, and a lot of people are assuming that my decision not to be more vocal about like, oh, let's order food now, was in the interest of making this guy feel comfortable. It was not that at all. It was, first of all, an interest of being polite a little bit, but it was primarily thinking of my own safety because you just don't know. Like, you don't know who you're dealing with. And I think looking at the other behaviors from the end of the date and how he was like, oh, just go home, and the weird thing about like the tattoo pricing, I think that I was justified to worry about how he would react if I did something that upset him. So again, like, I just appreciate the people who are having some nuance to how they're thinking about this and being kind towards me, because some people are being just very aggressive toward me. And if you're name calling toward me in my comment section, I am deleting your comment because I don't think that's appropriate or justified based on the video. I don't think I deserve that. You guys are like obsessed with saying this to women. It's so weird. It's like weird as fuck because there are a lot of people insinuating that I don't have good self-esteem or I don't respect myself because I ended up in like one uncomfortable situation one time. In the video, I said that this was months ago. This probably happened in May of last year. So it's not like I was begging this guy for a text back. This is the last time I ever saw him. And I think to assume that I hung out in this situation for as long as I did because I wanted him to like me is like a misread of what that story was about. Like, there are a lot of people in the comment section saying like, oh, I would have just gotten up and left. To me, that seemed melodramatic. It just was not that big of a deal. Like, okay, one date that kind of went like weirdly, it's like 2 hours of my life. Like, it is really not that big of a deal.
Okay, I see what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's hard to say what you would really do, what you would do. I mean, I know what I would do for sure. You feel me? But, cause this just like, you could at least ask them. She could at least ask them and open their mouth like, "Hey, are we gonna order? Or are you not hungry? Or you know what I mean? Like, speak up. You just letting that shit just keep going by, just keep going blah. You feel me? Like, she ain't had to get up and leave. I just would have been like, hey, Hey, are we gonna eat today? I doubt that wouldn't have been disrespectful. Hey, are we? You know what I mean? Or do we plan on eating today? You know what I'm saying? You done told. You know it's been 2 hours, right? Like, you feel me? But you know, white people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but so yeah, that's what I think. Shit, it was. She could have said something, but you know, shit, like she say, 2 hours out her life, and it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as dude, did she mention that he paid? I think he did pay. She didn't say he didn't pay, so he probably had the money, at least for that one entree. But why he take her to that restaurant? You know what I'm saying? And I don't see what the big deal about the tattoos is. Shit, if you paid 500 for your shit and I paid 100 for my shit, then you just paid 500 for your shit. He ain't have to be like, oh, that I ain't pay that much. And like he said, squat, whatever the word she used. You know what I'm saying? Basically dogging her out. Like, damn, you paid for that shit. I don't know. Everybody different. I wouldn't give a damn what you pay. I would just been like, damn, they charge you that much. I only paid for these. Boom, call it a day. Appreciate y'all for tuning in though and rock with me, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the story. Did dude not have the money? Probably didn't. 2 hours is crazy to sit there though and just sitting there having a conversation. She said she could talk though. Peace.